What's good, Alabama fans? Chris Daughtery here. This is the Alabama Football Report. We have a loaded show on tap for you guys today. Nick Saban making his first appearance at the SEC Media Days, not as a college football coach, but instead a college football analyst for ESPN. And so, being an analyst, he had to make an SEC championship game prediction, which we will talk about later on in the show. A top 10 2026 recruit will be visiting Alabama for their cold summer kickoff coming up on July 28th. And we got a lot of new numbers as well for this 2024 Alabama football roster. We'll break all of that down for you on today's show. But before we get into all of that, I want you guys to join the Noti gang here at the Alabama Football Report. Every single time we put out content, I want you guys to get a notification for it. Only about 13% of our subscribers right now have their notifications turned on. So when you subscribe to the Alabama Football Report, go hit the little bell icon, the notification icon, change it from personalized to all. So every single time we put a video out, you guys will get a notification for it. So go ahead and join the Noti gang for me right now. So Nick Saban was at SEC Media Day as an ESPN analyst, and they asked him for his SEC championship game predictions. This is what he had to say. I think Georgia and Texas, but I don't think there's any team right now or any coach that you would talk to, including myself, for many, many years, that right now there's not a part of their team that they're concerned about. How those problems sort of get resolved, whether if it's a younger player that comes in and makes an impact or an older player that develops consistency, those are the question marks that I think make it impossible to make predictions right now. So I think Texas, I think Georgia really has a good team. I believe in our Alabama team too. I believe in Jalen Milroe. I just think the question mark is in the secondary. Until those get resolved, it's hard to sort of jump on that bandwagon. Now, I've been saying this for quite a few months now since Nick Saban retired for the most part. Once those DBs hit the transfer portal, Alabama got super thin at DB. Now, they did a pretty decent job in the transfer portal kind of replacing those guys, but there are still a lot of question marks at that DB spot for Alabama. And I do agree. I think Alabama, Texas, and Georgia are going to be the top teams in the SEC this year. There are going to be a couple teams as well that I think have a decent shot to maybe contend. You got Ole Miss up there. Tennessee, we'll see how Nico Iamaleava does, see how their defense does as well. But I do think Alabama, Texas, and Georgia are going to be your top three teams in the SEC this year. And we'll see what happens with Alabama's secondary. Nick Saban was also asked about Alabama's biggest question mark, and he pretty much just confirmed it was the secondary. He said, I think the questions come on defense, especially in the secondary. Because so many guys left at the end of last season, it's going to be difficult to replace them, but how some young people step up to the challenge in the secondary is going to be the real key for them. Now, Alabama lost a ton of guys in the secondary in the transfer portal. This is your main group right here that they lost from the secondary in the transfer portal. Antonio Kite goes to Auburn. He didn't play very many snaps for Alabama in his career, only 25. Caleb Downs, though, played, all season for you last year as a starter, as a freshman. I've been saying it. He was your best player on defense last year. It's going to be tough replacing him. I think Alabama can do it with Malachi Moore and Keon Sabb, but we're just going to have to see. I really hate losing Des Ricks to Texas A&M as well as Earl Little Jr. to Florida State. And then Jake Pope, I thought he was going to be another guy that could come in at safety. Maybe not play this year. Who knows if he would have played. But I thought he was a really good talent as well. And then Jameer Grimsley came in as a freshman, got out of his national letter of intent, ends up going to Florida. And then Christian Story, man, I thought he was going to be a big key for Alabama this year. Played 215 snaps in his career, but I really thought he was going to be a guy that was going to be able to step up and give Alabama a lot of playing time this year. Peyton Woodyard, a really solid freshman that came in. Goes through spring, does what everybody asked him to do. At least give Kalen DeBoer a shot. He did that. Did not feel like it was the right fit for him. Ends up transferring to Oregon after the A-Day game. And then Tony Mitchell, we all know the story around him. Got arrested last year. Nick Saban brought him back to the team, even played a little bit, 15 snaps for you last year, ends up transferring to East Mississippi Community College. And then Trey Amos, another guy that, man, he has played a lot. He didn't play a lot for Alabama last year. He played 4 years with Louisiana, so he got a lot of snaps, a lot of experience there. But I thought Trey Amos was going to be another guy for you in the secondary that was going to give you a lot of valuable experience in that secondary. So let me know in the comments section right now, guys, what side of the ball do you trust more at this point right now? If it's the offense type O, if it's the defense type D, it is the pinned comment on today's video. So if that ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Go down there and vote right now. This is Alabama's DB room right now, and I think it's okay. I really am worried if one of these guys get hurt, have to go down at some point. Damani Jackson, former 5-star, you expect him to be a guy that's going to step up and, be a little bit better than he was at USC last year. Malachi Moore, Keon Sabb, I think they're going to be solid starters for you. Deshaun Jones, we'll see how he progresses in Kane Wommack's defense. And then Devontae Smith at that Husky position, if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be another really good player for you this year. And if not, I think Red Morgan as well, backing up at that Husky position, could be a solid freshman that can come in and give you really, really positive playing time. Damani Jackson, Deshaun Jones, I think these guys are going to be your starting corners this year. And they're going to have to be a little bit better than they were in years past for USC and Wake Forest. This was their 2023 PFF coverage stats, and they did okay, but you would like to see that completion percentage go down a little bit. Damani Jackson, 20 of 31 passes completing against him, so not terrible, but you like to see it come down a little bit. Same with Deshaun Jones. Both guys giving up about 400 yards last year. Deshaun Jones took a step forward last year in that interception department. I'd love to see Damani Jackson do that as well. And when it comes to experience in this DB room, just not a whole hell of a lot. Your transfers are the guys that are bringing that DB experience outside of Malachi Moore. And we've showed this graphic a ton. This is going to be the biggest key for Alabama because if any of those DBs go down with an injury this year or something else happens, out of the blue, you don't really know where you're going to turn for valuable experience. Really, there is no valuable experience. You're hoping that maybe a freshman could come in or, somebody can come in and be solid for you. But at that DB spot, that's probably one of the hardest positions to play without solid playing experience. Make sure you guys get ready for the Alabama football season. You can get customized Alabama football jerseys at chatsports.com/Alabama jerseys. You see here, you can get the red one, you can get the white one. You can even get some alumni jerseys as well. You see right here, you can get that Bryce Young jersey. And any other former Alabama players, you can get those guys. And there are, if you're going to go for the customizable jersey, there are a lot of guys got some new numbers. We're going to break those down later in today's show, so make sure you guys stick around for that. You can get up to 30% off. I think they're on sale right now for like $104, originally like $140. So pretty good deal right now at Fanatics. Just go to chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. That link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. A 2026 edge rusher, Anthony Jones, one of the best players in that 2026 class, will be joining Alabama for a visit coming up on July 28th for that cold summer cookout. A lot of those 2025 Alabama commits are as well going to be joining, and we'll do a future video on who's going to be at that cold summer cookout for Alabama. But there's a lot of guys in this 2026 class that I like a lot as well. And Alabama's starting to get the ball rolling on this 2026 class. So I want to hear from you guys in the comment section right now. We're talking about Anthony Jones a little bit more in depth here. But who is your favorite 2026 recruit that you are most excited about? I know we got a lot of recruiting people in the comment section that watch the Alabama Football Report. So let me know right now, who in that 2026 class are you most excited about? Now, like I said, Anthony Jones is one of the top players in the 2026 class, already a 5-star recruit, the number 7 player overall, the number 1 edge, and the number 1 player from the state of Alabama, from Mobile. And there's a lot of things that I really liked about him, just watching his freshman and sophomore film a little bit. He's already 6'4", 230 pounds. So coming off the edge, getting into or whatever college, athletic program he wants to go to, getting in that training program, this kid's going to be an absolute beast. He's played both on the ball and off the ball at that linebacker position, both standing up and playing with his hand in the dirt. I think he's got really, really good vision and anticipation. He hits the correct holes. That's one thing you like to see, especially, when he's playing middle linebacker, is he's not hitting the wrong holes. That the right hole opens up for the running back or whoever's going into it, and he hits that correct hole to make those plays. And when you want to talk about an athlete, this is a kid that is one of the best athletes on his team. He's played wide receiver, he's played running back, he's even lined up at the Wildcat for his high school team. So a lot of things to like. He's got a really quick inside step, and one of the things that Alabama really wants to do in this Kane Wommack system with that wolf position is they're going to ask those guys to play out in the slot, play out in coverage. He can do that as well. One of my favorite plays from Anthony Jones on his huddle tape, they're lined up if you're on the offense, the left hash. He's lined up on the right side. There's a bubble screen to the opposite side of the field. He's able to go all the way across the field and make that play on the opposite hash. So really good speed for him as well. Some of the notable visits that Anthony Jones has taken so far. I think so far he's taken 5 visits to Auburn. That 6th visit will come. He's going to be actually in Auburn the day before he's in Tuscaloosa on July 27th. He's already taken 5 visits to Alabama. He'll take that 6th visit on the 28th. He's visited LSU as well a couple times in Georgia, making 3 visits down there. Texas A&M was also kind of in his top 4, top 5 range, going into his recruitment. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. If you're still watching at this point, it means you like what we are doing. At least it seems like to me. I would not watch a video for 12 minutes and not subscribe to the channel if I liked them. We want to get to 18.5 thousand subscribers coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you hit that number. We're 343 subs away from that mark. So make sure you hit that sub button for me right now. The last thing we want to talk about on today's show is just some number changes that are coming down the wire here. Kendrick Law changing up from 19. He's going to be number 1 this year. If you got College Football 25, you saw that all these numbers have already changed on College Football 25, so that's a really nice thing to see as well. Xavier Brown, he's going to be number 2. He wore number 15 in the spring. Emmanuel Henderson changing from 24 to 3. Quay Russo going from 49 to 4. Richard Young, Alabama's running back 3, it seems like this year. He's going to be wearing number 9 for you. Justin Jefferson, another underrated linebacker that not a lot of people are really talking about. He's going to be wearing number 15 for the Crimson Tide. Jaron Hamilton, he was 23, switching over to 16. And then James Smith is going to be taking Jaron Hamilton's number, wearing number 23. He was number 47 for the Crimson Tide. And then down below, you see right there, Casey Poe was wearing number 74 after Caden Proctor left. He wore it in the spring. He's going to be changing to number 50. And then the summer transfers that have come in. King Mack, he's going to be wearing number 5. Cameron Howard, DB, he's going to be wearing number 6. Deshaun Jones will be wearing number 7. New kicker for Alabama, Graham Nicholson from the Miami of Ohio. He's going to be wearing number 14. Geno Vandermark is going to be wearing 56. And Caden Proctor gets his old number back, wearing number 74. Some of the incoming freshmen as well who weren't at Alabama for spring practice. Ryan Williams, he's going to be wearing number 2. So if you want a Ryan Williams jersey, you can go to chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. Get that custom jersey, number 2 for Ryan Williams. Rico Scott, another wide receiver coming in for the Crimson Tide that's going to be really solid. He'll be wearing number 11. Amari Jefferson will be wearing number 17. And then Noah Carter, previously committed to Washington, got out of his NLI to transfer to Alabama after Kalen DeBoer makes that transfer as well. And then Alabama's freshman running back, Kevin Riley, that came in. He's going to be wearing number 28. Quentin Reese is going to be wearing number 36, and Jay Lindsey, tight end for Alabama, is going to be wearing number 88 for the Crimson Tide this year. So a lot of new numbers. Go through that one more time if you want to get that jersey, those Alabama jerseys. You got some new numbers to look at. So if you guys made it to the end of today's show, make sure you drop a me in the comment section. We appreciate all you guys that join us here for the Alabama Football Report. Make sure you type me in the comment section.